I'll stand by you.
You can count on my steel. I'll offer up my courage.
His sword's by his side.
I'm with you. I'll give my bow to your will, sir. And
What's up, Evil Dead fans? I have finished the Army of Darkness chainsaw, and I will go over it detail by detail after I present it to you guys. It took a long time to do, a lot of research, especially watching our Army of Darkness over and over and over. And let's just get down to it. Now, I could have used an Army of Darkness theme song for this, but I decided against it because I thought there was a song that was a little more suiting to show you guys this chainsaw. So here is my Army of Darkness chainsaw. All right, let's go over some details over this Army of Darkness chainsaw. We'll start from the back and go all the way around. Now, the first thing you notice is this piece right here. Now, that is definitive of when Ash comes out of the pit. There's another view of that when the chainsaw's falling into the pit onto his nub. I didn't like that look. I went with more of that look. It is a little cleaner. It's not as gunky because if you remember, he comes out and the thing's just covered in mud. When it comes to this piece right here, I put a washer underneath this bolt. This is a different bolt, and I handmade this piece right here. Now, and the block, and that is very definitive to when it is falling into the pit on his nub. Same with the cuts, how it looks broken right here, and this side weld look with spot welds. When it comes to this and the whole top, the top paint and that bolt especially is when it's sitting in the gravel. That's where I picked that up from, and also how these are different colors. One's painted along with the body, one is just naked. Also with the bolts up here or along with that. Another thing is you will notice, I've talked about before how that's cut. Why I kept this side kind of more blackish. Somebody wanted me to make it the real goopy look, and I kind of did a compromise and left it darker instead of putting a lot of the red into this look. The way to get this look that you would want when you're doing a chainsaw, all you got to do is go to your craft store and get the little $5 pack of sponges that have various different textures in them. Mix whatever paint you want up, whatever look you want, and then just apply it just dab it on however you want. Okay, back to it. Notice it has that piece right here, which is definitive of how it falls on Ash's nub. There is a backing in there just to cover the gap and has a little motor backing. It's hard to focus, I'm sorry. Another thing is this piece right here, that is definitive when Ash catches it with his nub and actually crawls out of the pit as well. The guard, I had the guard with a bunch of gunk on there. I kept that on there. Now when it comes to this piece, if you remember when it's sitting in the gravel, you'll see just a little bit of an edge here. So I kept that look instead of the working look where this would come all the way out and you could see it on the other side and would come down across without this. But I really like that look. And notice you can see the two bolts there. That is definitive to the scene when Ash is crawling out of the pit. When it comes to the paint on the bar here, there's not much you can really reference from that, so I did the best I could of what would match somewhat the other side. The top handle is painted like it was coming out, or no, sitting in the gravel, I'm sorry. And with the top handle, it is bent and placed with the bolts where it's falling on his nub and when he's crawling out of the pit. Also, you notice the paint on the front. Notice these two bolts are not painted. Those ones are definitive to the working chainsaw that they used. And then also, you can swap these if you want. There's scenes where they're swapped, there's scenes where they're not. So it's kind of up to you. And remember the toggle switch, you have to have a neutral position toggle switch when the chainsaw is falling, just that falling scene. Notice how it goes on, neutral, off. That's what you want. The cut for the handle is where it's sitting in the gravel. This right here, on this chainsaw did not have the signage versus the script of gas and oil. I actually have a mold piece. Actually, I can grind the wording off and place these on there. That's what I did. That's very definitive of when it's falling into the pit. The grill here, most of it's black. I left a lot of that bloodish look, that dark look. It's kind of bad lighting. You can see that this is actually more of a brownish look, more of like, it's a little bit of black, a little bit of brownish, more of a dried blood look. And the grill, the reason why I have a lot of silver on here, that's very definitive of when he's about to cut Evil Ash up. Now with the handle here, it is dirty, it is rounded and everything, just like an Ash vs. Evil Dead one. You can have it hanging down. There is one scene in the gravel where it's sitting like this, but it's actually not connected, so I made it so I can have it sitting down. If I want to, I can just sit it back. So, just whatever I want to do with that. The hole here is definitive of when it's falling into the pit, that falling scene again. Also, that same scene shows a hinge right here. So I do have a hinge in there. I do like the look of that. That really, really made it pop for me. Also, you notice the back is open here. It's not closed in like Ash vs. Evil Dead. And if you go to the bottom, the paint's the same. And I got those 3 bolts over here and then the 2 on the other side. But it really came out nice and it really came out great. Remember, when you do these, when you do any of the dang chainsaws, do not use gloss paint. You want that contrast between satin and flat, especially on this specific chainsaw. If you go gloss with any of the paints, it will really, really show off and really dick up the look and the contrast. Notice right here that there was actually a break here when I got this chainsaw. But, you know, you can barely see it. And I did a pretty dang good job of hiding that. It's just the lighting really shines on it right now. I just want to point that out. So you're not like, oh, there's a crack there. But yeah, going back to the paint, you don't want to use gloss paint. Unless you're doing like an oily look, like a super oily, super new oily look with black, yes, that's okay. Such as I did with my Evil Dead 2 chainsaw. But when it comes to like this one, when stuff is dry, or the Ash vs. Evil Dead, do not use gloss ever. I mean ever. All right, other than that, I dirtied up the tank top here because it's supposed to be really dirty and almost black. Notice the handle is very clean and has a little bit of reddish in there. That's definitive to where it's sitting in the gravel. That handle really wasn't very dirty unless he was coming out of the pit. So I left it pretty well clean. The one thing I did leave is just a little bit of overspray right there because it just gives it a really, really cool look. And this piece right here, when he's coming out of the pit, is really, really dirty and really glossy at the same time. And I've done a million different paint jobs with it to see if I liked it. And I done this one before and then I stuck with it. I went back to it and redid it like this because I really like the look. So there it is. Let me know what you guys think. I'm very happy with this chainsaw. Like I said, this one will go in my personal collection. I don't plan on selling the Army of Darkness chainsaw ever. Maybe at some point in the future, but as of right now, I don't. But it looks really good. Really like it. Oh, and with the bar, the reason why I have these scribbles here, I don't know if I mentioned this. I might have. I've gone over a lot of stuff just in the last few minutes. That's from when the wise man's holding the chainsaw. You can see the scribblage here. So I think I covered that, but whatever. I covered it again. But yeah, I'm very, very pleased with it. Very pleased with the look. And yeah, it looks great. All right, there it is. I hope this helped you guys out on building your Army of Darkness chainsaw. I really, really, really hope that I covered everything. And if I haven't, let me know in the comments and I'll message you back and let you know the answer. If you're wondering about building tops, handles, or anything like that, I do have other videos on how to do that on this channel. So, you know, with this chainsaw, when I build any chainsaw now that I call my definitive chainsaw, which this is my definitive Army of Darkness chainsaw, the thing is, what you want as a builder or somebody who just builds a chainsaw for themselves or yourself, is what you want is for anybody who's seen the TV show or the series, when they see it, you want them to say, that's that specific chainsaw. Like somebody would look at that and go, that's the Army of Darkness chainsaw. That's exactly what you want. With the flat top, it's a little more obvious, of course, but that's really what you want. You want to go to that extent and that detail. So hope you helped you guys out. And oh, by the way, to that guy, that troll guy who's called me a one-trick pony and that I buy stuff and just put them together, you can go and eat a big bag of dicks. Because guess what? That took a lot of research. That took a lot of time. That took a lot of customization. That took a lot of looking at shit over and over and over. I've watched Army of Darkness a million freaking times in the last couple weeks and had to hand make stuff that they don't even make anymore. So have fun tomorrow at lunch eating your big bag of dicks, because the reason why I say this is because, guys, you know, if you guys have seen my videos in the past and don't know what I'm talking about, this guy trolled me for you know, a few videos and pissed me off, and all I wanted was an apology. That's all I wanted. And I don't even care anymore. So I'll just call him whatever the fuck I want, because I don't give a fuck. I really don't care. I'm sorry for the cussing. I really do. But yes, sir, you can go eat a big bag of fucking dicks. Enjoy those tomorrow. Because guess what? You ain't got something that fucking good. I guarantee it. So until next time, everybody else other than that troll who's eating a big bag of dicks, you stay groovy.
Sure, I could have stayed in the past. Could have even been king. But in my own way, I am king. Hail to the king, baby.